Believe it or not, we are 1 week away from the start of Halloween Horror Nights 35 right here at Universal Orlando, and there's so much we need to go over in this video. We got our first look at some of the food items that are going to be coming this year. We have the official map that's going to tell us exactly where all the houses are going to be, new merch, new props, a lot of things to go over. So let's not waste any more time and head inside the park and cover it all for you. It might be time to officially get worried about what the front entrance of this is going to look like. They've added more scaffolding, so this is looking more and more like what the entrance is going to be on opening night. As we're all lining up trying to get in on opening night, premium scream night, this is what we're going to be walking through. And as is the case with almost all of the update videos, we're going to start over here at the front. Now, some of these updates we've seen because we were here on pass holder night, but we didn't yet cover them in an HHN update. So we can see they've added some multicolored string lights to the front entrance. We have some flags that have been placed on top of the Halloween Horror Nights sign. They've added a whole bunch more detail down here towards the bottom, a little bit of foliage just to kind of blend in. And if you look real closely, you got a 3 and a 5 for HHN 35 at the bottom of this structure over here. And of course, Jack the Clown's gonna be right there. And over here at this ticket booth, when I first saw this, I thought there was gonna be like a live actor that's in here, but if you get an up close look inside, you can see there's a speaker in there. So not much room for an actor, but I'm sure it's gonna be playing some audio, like step right up, right this way, that kind of thing. Once you get past the truss, you're gonna come across this truck, which may look familiar to you if you were here last year. This was the BuzzCon truck, and they repurpose props all the time, but this year it looks like it's gonna be the Oddfellow Trading and Imports Company. Over there, of course, you got Dr. Oddfellow's symbol right there with the logo. They have a bunch of props and things that they've added inside of here. Looks like we have a sign of some sorts. There's this guy right here. Looks like his mouth has like a hose in it. I wonder if it's gonna like spit water or fog. Of course, over here in the Infernal Carnival of Nightmares, you have all the signs with the IP properties. And I noticed we have Jack the Clown's original outfit that is kind of tucked away in this suitcase. This was a lot more exposed the other night when we were here for pass holder night. It was just kind of draped over the whole barrel. I don't know if people have been touching it or whatever, but it looks like they've stuffed it more inside. But you can see that this is that old school Jack the Clown original costume. In the last HHN update, this was all covered up. It's now been revealed. This is obviously going to be Sinners. You have the guitar over here, like a larger than life guitar. We have a little lantern that's hanging over there, so that'll definitely be illuminated. Matter of fact, looks like it's on right now. You can see a little bit of the glow right there in some of the wood. Actually, if we come around the back side of it, you can see it even more. So you can see those orange lights that are kind of flashing and glowing. So before we go any further with the construction updates, I want to fill you in on what the actual map is going to look like this year. Universal literally just dropped it like an hour or two ago. So this is hot off of the press, and this is going to tell you where all of the houses are. So as soon as you walk into the park, the 2 house entrance that's going to be over by Minions is going to be Stranger Things and Evil Dead Burn. And then over here by Music Plaza Stage, where that massive queue is always set up, that is gonna be Jack and Oddfellow. Closest to the Fallon bathrooms is gonna be the entrance for Ozzy Osbourne and Madlands. Fast and the Furious is gonna be home to Cybergoria. And then the 2 newer tents in the back are gonna be Hellraiser and Sinners. And then the sprung tents, the classic sprung tents, are gonna be HR Blood and Guts and Invasion Alien Abduction. So we just came into downtown Clown Town, and they are fully set up for the Killer Clowns of outer space, and some of this stuff looks freaking awesome. You have the cotton candy cocoons. This is so cool. This is a massive piece, by the way, just to give you a sense of how big this is. And something that I'm noticing that I didn't notice the other night is I'm seeing red buttons, which is usually a guest activated trigger or a GAT. So if you ever hear anybody talk about a GAT or a guest activated trigger, they usually look just like this. And what happens is when someone presses on it, it triggers an effect, a sound effect, something will happen over here, maybe some lighting or something along those lines. So it looks like there's 2 of them right by the cotton candy cocoon. We got the popcorn butter over here. This thing is looking real gnarly and disgusting. You got the tube that's coming out of the barrel, goes into the top right over there. And then if you look at the inside, got some gross, nasty looking popcorn, some disgustingness going on in there. But yeah, this is looking really, really good. And it's awesome that the clowns are gonna have this entire space. So this whole section over here, so scattered throughout this scare zone are all the victims. So you can see the pie is all over here. You got the cherry on top right there. You got the tin as well. Can't really see much of the victim themselves, but there's definitely somebody under there. And then we have another one right over there at the top of the steps. My gosh, the clowns have victims all over the place. So over by the exit of the Tribute store, by the Fast and the Furious construction, we have another pie victim. Over here, this one you can actually see like a skeleton hand. That is so awesome. Oh my gosh, this looks so cool. Looks so realistic too. We're gonna take a look at the stage in just a second, but wanted to show you this new truck that popped up just a few days ago. This is gonna be Chance's Creamery. So you got Chance right there, has her own ice cream truck this year. Again, talking about repurposing props. If you remember from a few years ago, this was the Major Sweets truck right here in the same scare zone. If you look closely behind the word Chance, it does say Carrie's Creamery. Cary, Ohio, of course, is the town where everything is set in. And then over here is a little nod to the first year of HHN, established 1991. And over by this massive stage, there's some big changes versus the last time we updated you guys on what's going on. So the tents are all fully complete, at least it appears that way. We have the Jack the Clown statue that has popped up, and this thing is amazing. I wish that they keep this around year round. That Jack statue should be a permanent fixture in Universal. It looks so good. And then also at the top of the stairs, we have like a big chair, almost like a throne of sorts. We have another HHN Easter egg. So this was from a show, I believe like 10 years ago. I think that was one of the victims from the show. So the other night when we were here, these lights weren't on, and now they are. So we can get a little glimpse. Still kind of sunset, but you get the idea of what the lighting package is gonna look like. So you got purple for the Oddfellows Menagerie, and then it looks like the Jack's Circus Surplus is gonna have like some orange amber lighting. I hope you guys are ready for Art the Clown to come back, because he is coming. Santa Art is coming to town, and we have a whole bunch of new props. They've added some Christmas presents and some garland. We have a Christmas tree covered in red, which is obviously gonna have some like gross elements to it. We have Santa this way. There you go, right that way. He's gonna be right on the chair. We have some more like little cutesy Christmas things, and then obviously everything that's covered up with the tarp is gonna be a body or some sort of grossness, and we could all only imagine what that's gonna be. But this is looking really, really good. Like if we take a step back, there you go. There's a full-size shot of what the Santa Art scare zone / little show moment is gonna look like. Some new updates with the van. They added the branding on the side. So this is Ironside Demolition. I wonder what happens if you call that phone number. Might have to try that once I finish recording this. But this is gonna be opened up. Something's gonna be inside of there. It's currently draped off, so we can't see in. Another thing I'm noticing, big update, all the walls on Delancey Street are down for the most part. There's still a couple over by Finnegan's, so I wonder if there's anything new with Boris Schuster's office. So there is a new clue at Boris Schuster's office. There's another little photo that's popped up of Madame Basil, and if you come down here to her window, normally she's right in there, and now she's totally gone. So she's not in here anymore. So does that mean she's packed up and she's joined Oddfellows Circus once again? So I know a few minutes ago we talked about the map. Another really important thing to note is that the Downtown Clowntown Scare Zone on the map, Downtown Clowntown Scare Zone, try saying that 10 times fast. That is a massive scare zone. We already knew it was gonna cover the majority of New York, but the map confirms that Delancey Street, which is the street right here, the one that has Boris Schuster's office on it, and Finnegan's, that is all part of the scare zone. So literally anywhere you go within New York this year, you're at risk to run into somebody. So normally you would kind of cut down this little path to get away from the main streets. That's not gonna be the case this year. This is all fair game in terms of the scare zone, now that the maps come out and it's confirmed that. So Sting Alley is definitely gonna be a food and drink location, as we have a lot of theming that's popped up over here. And I'm already seeing some little nods to HHN's past on here. Obviously you have the Oddfellows Traveling Oddities. This was the main design from a couple of years ago. You have the old school Halloween Horror Nights 10 from the year 2000 over there. It's like Dueling Dragons from 3 years ago is on here. 30 Years, 30 Fears. I see a little nod to the Pumpkin Lord over here. This was on the merchandise, so scares at every turn. And then there's the witch. The Pumpkin Lord's gonna be right over there. And then there's a couple of other things over here that are pretty interesting. So it's Dr. Oddfellow's Carnival of Thrills, and there's all these things that I don't think we've seen before. in any of the scare zones or the houses. So you have Madame Horrocks' House of Horrors and palm reading, the mighty Mr. Martinez, cooking feats of extraordinary strength, Professor Longman's Illusions, Jen and Jen's Exotic Beasts from Beyond the Veil, and then down here at the bottom it says the Amazing Alonzo's Games of Last Chance with an arrow pointing this way. So as I'm coming in, which is the way that you would come in after you order, you have a little ticket admission booth that's over here, thrilling rides, great games, and more, and that's changed to chilling and gory. And it looks like this is definitely going to be a bar. And then the food booth is going to be amazing Doc Hayden's Crosshairs Coops Game of Skill. And this is highly themed. So you could see this is like themed to a carnival game. You have all these little ducks on here. They'll have names on them too. I wonder if those are like members of the team who worked on this, either the culinary team or the creative team. But yeah, this is highly themed. You got blood splattered up in the corners. So here's a good look at what the food booth in Sting Alley is gonna look like. So all the way in the back by the arcades and the bathrooms in New York, this is normally where they will store some vehicles before they move them out into the zone. And we have two over here. These look really cool. This is like I think a Beetle, right? Like an old school car. It's completely covered in paint. It's been completely redone. There's one of the swirls, again, right on the headlight. And you can see there's all clown garb in here. I see a horn, a little pinwheel, got a little tiny duck right there. It's kind of looking like Top Gun Maverick. So this is awesome. Shout out to the team who actually like redesigned this. This thing is completely covered in paint, even down to the wheels. You can see some clown shoes sticking out of the bottom over there. And the reason I say that they hold them here before they bring them out is if you look at the bottom of this, you could see that they are kind of up on like support things. So they'll come in with a forklift and stick the forklift right into these two openings, literally lift the car up and then bring it out into New York. So this is just where they keep them. They're not gonna be here like on event night. They'll be out in a different spot, but this looks super, super cool. And in case you didn't know, Fast and the Furious Supercharged is now officially closed. They wasted no time in taking the name off of this building. It's completely stripped away. It's closed off. The only time you're gonna be getting in here is to go into the Cybergoria house. So I wonder, are they gonna do anything with the front of this for HHN, like project something on it or something along those lines? I'll be interested to see. But yeah, they wasted no time. Let me know, did you guys get a chance to ride this one last time? I'm over here in Club Horror now, and throughout the course of spec season, we talked about what this might be, the rumors of the Pumpkin Lord coming back and making an appearance here inside Club Horror. Well, now we have a little bit more detail thanks to Darren Scott from SFX Magazine, who had an interview with Laura Sauls at that UK media event a few weeks ago that we talked about, just about what we can expect as far as the Pumpkin Lord goes and Club Horror itself. So she said, we're bringing Club Horror back. We're giving it the colors and tropes of more traditional Halloween. We're gonna give the DJ a button, or if you will, to put into his mix, all hail the Pumpkin Lord. So you hear the Pumpkin Lord over there as well. We wanted the Pumpkin Lord to have his presence in the event because he's a little harder to achieve. That's why he has a scene in a haunted house, but we wanted to have his presence. There's a beer called All Ale the Pumpkin Lord. We all have to have it just because it's a clever name. I love it. All Ale the Pumpkin Lord. We have a bar update over here by Club Horror as well. So now that the Fast and the Furious attraction is closed, this was the exit for that attraction. They've completely blocked it off with a pretty massive bar. So Club Horror is getting a pretty legit bar this year. I'm assuming they're gonna add like all seating and tables just like they did in years past. And then you have the dance floor. So over here at the San Francisco Candy Company, it looks like it's getting ready to change to the Carrie Candy Company. And you can see on the pillars, they have two giant banners that say Save Carrie. They have a little note on the window. It says all items on loan from the Carrie Historical Society. Oh yeah, this is really cool. No pun intended, because there's good air conditioning, but this is gonna be a whole Carrie like mini tribute store that they got going on here. So they have a massive sign that says, welcome to Carrie, a nice place to live. This is gonna be the Meats Frozen Treats. And then there's the mascot. The newspaper little stand has turned into Carrie Today, the best news for America's best town. And they have a little newspaper over here. Obviously you can't get a real one, but it's Carrie Redevelopment Official. Mayor and Wyandotte County board members approve major redevelopment of the township of Cary. Just underneath the frozen treat stand and the newspaper stand, you can see a couple little Easter eggs. So they got the Cary Candy Company menu, the Cary Drive-In Movie Marathon with a lot of the Slaughter Cinema films on it. And then one of those is pumpkin guts right there. We have another poster on the wall for Cary, a nice place to live. And then you got the Meats icon right there. There's all sorts of pumpkins out and about. Another one of the menus for the Cary Candy Company. And then all over the floor, there's a bunch of these Slaughter Cinema posters. So you got Barber Chop. And then down here, you guys will remember this from Slaughter Cinema 2, Heavy Metal Hell 3D. All hell is breaking loose. So let's do a little merch rundown while we're in here of things we haven't seen. They have a new Art the Clown headband for $27. They also have some bloody Art the Clown glasses. The classic look. You have a new Art the Clown bag. From Sinners, they have these smoke and stack hats. So I guess if you want to dress up like the characters, they have these. This one is going to be $38 for like the fedora hat. And then the little like newsy hat is going to be also $38. So they're $38 a piece. They have the original Sinner shirt. They have the Sinner's Spirit jersey. They have the new Stranger Things shirt with the key art. This is the shirt that we all wanted. So I'll definitely be picking this up to bring home today. For $50, they have this crossbody bag that's made to look like Max's, little Walkman over there. It says Hellfire Lives. You got all the little buttons on the side, some cool details. Here's another nod to Slaughter Cinema. You got the Cult of the Beast Baby poster. That's right next to the Ozzy Osbourne shirt. Another one of the Heavy Metal Hell 3D posters as well. You have Spectre guides for the Spirit Seekers. Oh, that's pretty cool. On the floor, they have a poster for HR Blood and Guts presents Holidays of Horror right there. So a little throwback to the old HR Blood and Guts house. We got the poster for the Attack of the Swamp Yeti. We have a little Cindy Easter egg up here. Orphanage, Ashes to Ashes. This is where we first saw Cindy. You have the sign for the Good Harvest Orphanage right there. And this is awesome too. Right above the Killer Clowns and the Art the Clown merchandise, they have the sign from the original HR Blood and Guts house, the WKNB Ohio's Channel 21. And then you got the little TV over there. HR Blood and Guts presents Holidays of Horror. So make sure you look up when you're in the store because you never know what you're going to see on top of these merch displays. Some more little props and Easter eggs from the Spirit Seekers, as well as Boris Schuster and the legendary Truth. Now this shirt is absolutely fantastic. You got the Downtown Clown Town right there with Jack the Clown on it. Halloween Horror Nights on the sleeve. This shirt is going to be $30 just like the rest of them, but that's an awesome design. I really like what they did inside the candy company, and there was even more Easter eggs that we'll cover in an upcoming video. There was a whole bunch of stuff that was behind the case that I didn't really get a chance to look into just because trying to get all this done before the park closes, but we'll save that for an upcoming video. But if you're a fan of like HHN lore, you're really gonna like what they did in there. And I have a feeling there's probably even a little bit more to come in terms of what they put on the outside of it, maybe some other things that they add on the inside. But like I said, if you're a old school traditional HHN fan, Cary, Ohio fan, there's definitely something in there for you that you'll be able to find. Starting to make my way over towards the Ozzy Osbourne bar, and I haven't seen any of this yet other than the trusses that have popped up. So by the Ozzy bar, they use the same key art that they did for the house announcements. And to be honest with you, it looks really, really good. Like Ozzy sitting over there, kind of overlooking the bar. I will say it's kind of an interesting choice for a bar. And again, I don't know too much about Ozzy, but I do know that he had like alcohol problems at some point in his life. So it is kind of interesting to see that like he's getting a bar, but obviously his family had to sign off on anything that has to do with HHN and Ozzy. So they're okay with it, but it was just kind of weird, right? Like someone who had a drinking problem now has a bar at an event after he passed away. But regardless, the artwork and everything, it looks really, really good. I just didn't want to linger there too long because there's somebody literally working on the bar right now, and I didn't want to like stand in front of him and talk about stuff that I probably don't even know about, and he does. We have a look at what the lights are gonna look like on the Meats booth. And I'm really glad I decided to come at this time because they're testing a lot of the lights and this looks really cool. And there's a lot of funny little Easter eggs that are down at the bottom over here. So let's run through them. You got Meats coming soon. Florida sun roasted tourists. That's hilarious. Serving you piece by piece. Organic free range Orlando residents. Always locally sourced. That is so good. And across the way is the WSQK booth for Stranger Things. And this thing looks absolutely awesome all lit up at night. I can't wait to see this like when it's fully nighttime. We got a bar that's over here as well. This is just like your standard Halloween Horror Nights 35 bar. Here's a closer look at the Nightmare Fuel sign. Same artwork that was on the announcement on like Twitter and Instagram, but it looks pretty cool. I'm excited to see what they do with this. Like, this is definitely not anywhere near the top of my hype list, but I'm very curious, like, how different is this gonna be versus the previous versions, because Alex and I were big fans of the old one. So another interesting change is that they changed the wording on the Eddie Schmidt little beer cart to say Eddie Schmidt. This originally said Edgar Schmidt, like literally a few days ago. So I wonder what made them change it. Maybe they just think that people would recognize Eddie versus Edgar. Yeah, this has now been changed to Eddie Schmidt's draft wagon. Might be a little bit hard to see on camera, but since we're here a little bit later, you can see the purple and the red lights. These are all around the park. This is obviously right in front of Nightmare Fuel, but you could see them lining the walkways all the way down towards Men in Black. So no TVs yet on the little house portals over here, but they'll be coming soon. But we do know that this is gonna be Hellraiser and Sinners that are back in these tents. Over by the Men in Black bathrooms, we have another little house portal that's popped up over here. Still waiting on the like little artwork to be hung, but they have a little tiny TV that's up over here. Just wanted to call out that the Men in Black gift shop carries a lot of HHN merchandise. Not as much as like the Five and Dime or the main store in the front, but if you're back this way, they do have a couple of things over here. So outside of the Simpsons queue over here, we have another house portal. It looks exactly the same as the one over by the Men in Black bathroom, just like a little tiny screen, and then just a little small space for them to maybe put a banner or some of the artwork with some of the warning signs. But yeah, they look slimmer than they did in years past. So I'm walking through Springfield and past a couple of the food booths. Has me thinking about food. So let's go over some of the menu options that came out yesterday. Over on Instagram, Universal revealed some of the eats and drinks for this year's event. Now, this isn't going to be everything. This is just going to be some of the highlights that they decided to call out. And we're going to start with the Stranger Things food. And two of the items are going to be Hopper's Recharger and Elle's Battery Jerky. And then from Hellraiser, we have the Cenobites Kiss and the Pleasure and Pain Brain. For Sinners, there's going to be the Slide Guitar Smash, as well as Annie's Juke Joint Catfish and Grits. Ozzy Osbourne's going to have the Black Rain, and there's going to be a Prince of Darkness Cake, which is a carrot cake, one of Ozzy Osbourne's favorite types of cakes. And I love that it comes with a little chocolate bat on top, so you could reenact the biting of the bat head. And then for Evil Dead Burn, there's going to be the Frostbite drink as well as the Lasagna Burn. And of course, this year's theme is the Infernal Carnival of Nightmares. So there's some carnival themed food. One of those things is going to be the Berea Pizza Fries. And these things look very good. I can't wait to try those on Premium Scream Night. If you were a fan of the spaghetti pizza last year, there's a new version for this year. It's called the Rigatoni Ritual Pie. It's going to be a pizza topped with rigatoni, cheese, sausage, and a pesto drizzle. There's the Torn to Shreds pork sandwich, meat grinder red velvet, and the Fritos walking taco. All right, we're back. So we're going to go through the Fort Nightmare Scare Zone. We're kind of doing this backwards, but no Fortnite bus has popped up yet. We are going to be getting a bus. It's probably going to be going right over here. That has not come just yet. Oh, wow. So if you're coming in from this way, already seeing some new stuff. So this was like the first little piece that popped up, was this like little wall with the tentacle over here. The tentacles go all the way up now. So yeah, they've added some more boxes and some like little hiding elements by the little shed over here. Down over here, we have some hay bales, and oh no, if you know, you know. We have our first corn sighting of the year. Why are you doing this, HHN? Oh my gosh. We have 3 corn stalks. If you know anything about like HHN history, anytime corn pops up somewhere in the event, that means a hurricane's coming. So hopefully that's not going to be the case this year. But they had this TV with this like creepy looking face on it. Again, I don't know anything about Fortnite. If you do, maybe you know what that is. And just when you thought there were only 3 stalks of corn, there's another 2 over here. So now we got 5. So that's definite bad news if you're HHN superstitious. Got some more theming and props over here, some more hay bales. Looks like some gold blocks. I'm sure these have some significance in the game. More corn. Oh my God, what are we doing? I mean, what are we trying to wish a hurricane on this event? Anyway, more blocks over here. And I will say this, like the blocks and everything that they have, they do look like video game-like. So they're definitely doing a good job as far as like what the props look like. There is freaking corn all over the place. Like, oh boy, not good, not good. But holy moly, this is a big stage. Look at the size of this thing. And there's a little projector. Oh, is that a projector? Or like a fog machine? Can't really tell, but this thing is huge. Across the way, there's another huge little set piece over here. And at the top, we have like a little cat guy or like a raccoon guy shooting off like a giant pumpkin head. There's a better look at him from the other side. Again, if you play the games, you probably know exactly who this guy is. To me, I can't really fully make it out, but he looks like some sort of like cat or like a panther. So I will say this about Fortnite. I do think it's a scare zone that's gonna look really, really cool. Do I think it's gonna be scary? No, I don't think it's gonna be scary at all. Am I gonna know anything that's going on in there? Probably not. But again, like I think the design of it and some of the set pieces that they're bringing in is gonna look pretty neat. And I have like full faith in Dylan. He does amazing jobs in houses. I have no reason to think he wouldn't do a good job inside of a scare zone. It might not be my thing, but I'm definitely like willing to give it a chance. I think the look is gonna be really cool. I don't think it's gonna be scary. Still don't think it belongs at HHN per se, but I do think it's gonna be underrated in terms of like the look of it. So I'm excited to see what it looks like next week. Going through Sideshow of Decay just to see if I notice anything new. At this point, it's probably just very, very minor details, but couldn't come through the scare zone without saying what's up to my boy Slimothy Jimothy. Looking extra slim today. So obviously it's just me tonight that's filming this video, and Alex has been on the hunt for like the mystery bag charms. They keep selling out. So I'm gonna pop in the 5 and dime and see if I can bring her home one. So they have the Killer Clowns mystery bag charms, but we're actually looking for the HHN Icons one. Also over here in the 5 and dime, I haven't seen this in person yet. They have the Artist Signature Series shirt, and this is awesome. I think I might have to get this one too. This is so cool. You got Oddfellow at the top, Jack. You got Chance over there. You got Eddie Schmidt down over there too. And they also have that same design on a die cut magnet for 14 bucks? Yeah, $14 for the magnet. Oh yeah, they fully restocked the mystery bag charms. Alex has been looking for these. These are whatever makes you happy. And there's all different little icon designs in there. They're like kind of big, puffy bag charm. So I'm gonna get one of these and hopefully we get somebody we like. I got this for Alex, so I can't open it without her, but I'm dying to see which one we got. If you wanna see what we got, make sure you stay to the very, very end of the video and we'll see what we pulled. Also, I don't know if I should be admitting this, but I'm like $200 in the hole on HHN merchandise this year. What they put out over the last couple weeks is really, really good. And I'm not gonna run through everything because we've showed a lot of this merchandise already, but they have the display in the main Universal store. It's fully open now. There are a couple of things in here that aren't in the other stores, but for the most part, it's the same. So as you can probably see, my shirt's a little wet. It is starting to rain, so we gotta make our way back to the car. So we'll jump ahead to when I get home. Whoa, crazy lightning. We'll jump ahead to when I get home and we'll see which little mystery icon Alex got. All right, let's see. Let's see what little mystery bag charm we got.
All right.
Also, Bunny's just creeping over your shoulders. He's like, "Ooh, which one did we get?"
He thinks that these are treats, I think.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
Because it sounds like his treat bag.
All right, let's see.
All right.
Is it a good one?
Caretaker.
Caretaker. All right, that's cool. I like the caretaker. Look at these. Yeah, they're pretty big.
They are, and they're like puffy.
Yeah, it's like a whoopee cushion.
I can put it on my fanny pack.
There you go, the caretaker. Is it Bunny approved? Bunny, what do you think?
What do you think, Bun?
You like the caretaker? It's like, yeah, it's not treats. Not for me. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a nice big thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, subscribe down below so you don't miss out on all of our future HHN videos to come. With that being said, see you guys real soon in the fog.